Endgame comes out tomorrow, and here are my predictions for what's going to happen in the movie. What's up, and welcome back to the Mind of Will, where reality and fiction collide. I'll be your host, Paul Philip Marison III. So I'm going to have 3 predictions for you about how Avengers Endgame is going to play out. First one is actually my favorite one, so I'm going to go with that one first. My prediction for the first one is it's going to pick up where the battle ended off, where Thanos just snapped his fingers and everyone disappeared. They're going to go through some weird backstories about all the new Avengers that are joining, Ant-Man and so forth. Captain Marvel's gonna come back and everyone's gonna get together and they're gonna form this big, gigantic battle force and they're gonna attack Thanos. Right in the heat of it, when everything looks like it's coming together perfectly, Thanos is gonna snap his finger and he's gonna just be gone. He's gonna go someplace else, just sit around, do nothing, a couple years, wait until they find him. As soon as they find him again, snap, he's gone again. Because why not? He already won, so what's the point in sticking around and fighting? Thanos won already, he's just gonna leave. That's my prediction, number 1. He's just gonna snap his fingers and be gone. Not even worry about fighting the Avengers anymore, because he already won. Prediction number 2, slightly more likely. Fans are not gonna like this one though. It's Captain Marvel. According to some of the comic books, there's some theories that Captain Marvel can jump back and forth in time. So my prediction is she's gonna end up jumping back in time, doing something odd, maybe finding a way to get one of the stones from Thanos before he snaps his fingers and everything is fixed. And then they're gonna put together their little attack force with the Avengers that were there, because now they're all gonna be there because they didn't get disappeared. And then they're gonna attack Thanos and they're gonna beat Thanos, which actually leads to quite a boring way to end the movie. Endgame, she just jumps back in time, the old time-giving thing. It didn't all happen, I fixed it before it happened, everything's great, I win now. It's a cheap trick, but it is possible, seeing that Captain Marvel does, in some theories, have the ability to jump back in time. Number 3, this one actually deals with time travel also, but it's actually a lot more likely. I'm surprised no one thought about this so far, because seriously, it makes a lot more sense than Captain Marvel jumping back in time. And that is Doctor Strange jumping back in time. If you would recall from the Doctor Strange movie, how he beat the villain in that movie was he trapped himself in a time bubble where after he was defeated, he jumped back in time and tried to figure out a different way to beat him. Granted, he didn't figure out a way to beat the monster, it's just that he was trapped in a time loop with the monster forever, so the monster literally gave up and left, because no one wants to be trapped in a time loop forever trying to beat one person and you can never win, basically. So my theory is Doctor Strange did a similar thing on his stone before Thanos took his stone. It makes sense because of how Thanos defeated Doctor Strange and the whole Iron Man and Spider-Man situation when they're all together. It makes sense that Doctor Strange did something to his Infinity Stone before Thanos got it that would trigger a booby trap after Thanos snapped his fingers and used the Infinity Stone to wipe half the universe. It would trigger a booby trap that would reset time and send time backwards, possibly even finding a way to reset time to the point before Thanos attacked Doctor Strange and Iron Man and Spider-Man. Before that, before they even left Earth, if Doctor Strange can figure out a way to put a trap into the Infinity Stone that would return his consciousness to that time period, he would now have the advantage of knowing exactly what's going to happen. And he may be able to find a way to stop Thanos with all the Avengers together, united, instead of having it play out the way it did. Seeing that in the actual original Infinity Wars, he did look at many timelines and he did say there is a timeline where it is possible for Thanos to be defeated. It wasn't made clear that this timeline was the present or the past. So, who knows, maybe that's actually what happened. And of course, I can't just put my theories in here. I have to pull one from the internet. The biggest theory of how Thanos is going to be defeated is with Ant-Man. I decided to change that theory actually, because that theory makes no sense, because Thanos is super strong. Why wouldn't he be able to just snap his fingers and make Ant-Man disappear before he can get bigger? So my theory actually involving Ant-Man isn't just with Ant-Man, it's with Ant-Man and the Wasp. How it will play out is in the final battle when they go to attack Thanos once again, is Ant-Man and the Wasp will be the head of that attack. But they're going to be in their shrunken forms, so Thanos can't see them and can't sense them being in the attack. They are not going to enter Thanos' body, because that wouldn't make sense. Instead, what they're going to do is they're going to go after the gauntlet itself. because the gauntlet only has power if all 5 Infinity Stones are there. Each Infinity Stone has its purpose. They go after the Infinity Stones in the gauntlet themselves. Before the first attack can actually take place, before Thanos can retaliate, they're gonna simply remove 2 of the Infinity Stones as the battle starts. All they have to do is simply pop the Infinity Stones out of the gauntlet, and the Hulk comes in and smashes Thanos. It's not gonna defeat him, but it will knock him off place, which will leave the Infinity Stones out of the gauntlet. This actually will buy them enough time to remove the other 3 Infinity Stones from the gauntlet. Once all the Infinity Stones are removed from the gauntlet, Thanos now has a chance of being defeated by one of the Avengers that are on scene at the time. So that's my theory on how Ant-Man will actually help defeat Thanos, because he's going to shrink down and just flick the Infinity Stones out of the gauntlet, and they're going to attack while that's happening and catch him off guard, defeat him while he doesn't have the Infinity Stones. They're going to figure something out. Maybe with the monks from Doctor Strange, they're going to do something and maybe jump back in time enough so that Doctor Strange can be restored, and then Doctor Strange can jump back in time even further and come up with an even better plan and figure everything out. And that's how they're going to restore the rest of the galaxy, because Doctor Strange is going to jump back in time after they defeat him, and they're going to undo everything, which will completely undo the battle between the Avengers and Thanos in the first place. But we're not going to think about that because time is wonky and timey-wimey, so we're not going to think about that. That's just how it's going to end. So that's my predictions for Endgame. Don't have an outro yet, so remember, you need oxygen to live, so keep breathing. See you next time.